I know y'all ain't gonna like this, but boycotting in the year 2025 is the dumbest thing that we can do, financially speaking. Why? Because it doesn't matter. We saw what happened 5 years ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, but 5 years ago, George Floyd. We boycotted, we marched, hated it. Not saying it's not justified, kicked and screamed. And yes, what happened to George Floyd was horrible. But see how business works, they take emotions out of decisions when it comes to the bottom line. And we had a lot of companies that said, you know what? We're going to pledge. That's the key word, not give. They were going to pledge money for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And yeah, they pledged. What the heck has happened since then? CEOs of Fortune 500 companies now have less African Americans in the C-suite than what they had 5 years ago. Is that advancement or is that decline? Household, yes, after the government gave us so much money, 80% of the world's printed money was printed after the year 2020. And why is it today we have less wealth than what we had 5 years ago? See, we can get as bad as we want to with companies. They ain't changing nothing because we as a people, as a culture, are not doing what we supposed to do. So what's boycotting gonna do? Raise awareness? And what does that get us? What has that given us over the years? And I'm a certified financial planner. I've helped Black, white, Asian, Jewish, all walks of life. And business is business. And as soon as we take emotions out of people who don't care about the color of your skin, they just care about money, and we play the game that they play in, that's how we get ahead. Oh, had to rub my nose right there. Rubs nose like bourbon, but that is how we get ahead, not by boycotting. So we're going to give information, factual information, not emotions, but factual information that's going to help us. And this ain't because I ain't no darn Republican. Tell y'all that now. I ain't rocking with no politicians right now. Like me some Obama though. I ain't gonna lie. But I ain't rocking with no politicians right now. Republicans, not so much. And the Democrats, they have disappointed here lately. We can all say it. Let's be real with ourselves, right? It is about you. It is about your bag. And we're going to talk about how we can really impact our community and not worry about people and have so much of our own power, our own equity, that we can do our own inclusion and make the companies come to us. Because when you have a seat at the table, they listen to you. But when you're at the back door, knocking, screaming, yelling, and ain't no power behind it, things ain't gonna change, y'all. And I said as a community. So we're gonna go over as a community what we can do to help ourselves and give us the power to get a seat at that table. Let go. When we talk about boycotts, it doesn't get any bigger than the largest boycott. The Montgomery Brawl. It all starts with Montgomery, right? Montgomery Brawl. Flip up the hat. It's like the bat signal. Flip up the hat with the Montgomery bus boycott between 1955 and 1966, led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The largest and most impactful boycott by Black Americans. And we all know how it was started. It was started because of Rosa Parks. She refused to not get up and get on the back of the bus. Very famous line by Jay-Z. Rosa Parks sat so Martin Luther King can walk, so Obama can run. And yes, that sequence of events sparked something that nobody thought. Black folks getting together? Yes, we always got together. That was a stereotype, but did we ever get together? And by her refusing her seat to a white passenger, the boycott lasted 381 days, and it crippled the economy for Montgomery, Alabama. Their transit system took years to recover. But you want to see what's different? See, in 1955 and 1956, that was their power, was the boycott. And they made fundamental sacrifices. But what they did not have in 1955 that we have today in 2020, 25, 70 years later, We have power. And for some crazy reason, we don't use it to our capacity. What is that power? That power is what I'm talking to you on right now. The internet, social media. They had newspapers. Newspapers lied because it was ran by people that did not like them and did not agree with their agenda. We have a media source to get information out, snap of the fingertips. I do believe if those cameras were not there, the whole spark in 2020 around George Floyd would not have happened. But because of cell phone cameras, because of social media, instantaneously we get information like that. But also from an opportunity standpoint, we have a huge advantage to market. Now, are things even when it comes to other races and us? Of course not. And it will never be even. And it sucks. I know as a certified financial planner, I have to work literally, and I have my friends that are not my color that tell me all the time how little they work. And we have darn near the same amount of assets, and I probably work 10 times as much as them with the same accumulation of assets. I'm not complaining. Managing over $250 million, have nothing to complain about. But man, just to walk into a building and everybody respect you because of the color of your skin and accept you because of the color of skin, we don't have that. But we do have the internet, and the internet gives us knowledge and power at our fingertips that they did not have in 1956, which means we do not have to support financially things that we don't align with. And it is so many businesses that align with what you align with that you don't support. Why do we not support it? I don't know. Like right now, OG, Original Garments, a Black-owned business. Guys from Memphis, Tennessee, North, I think he's from South Memphis, I guess, and lives in DC. It is literally over 5,000. Let me repeat. Now, they might not all be owned. It is over 5,000 African-American clothing stores or clothing brands in America. It is 365 days out the year. If we literally supported every single shoe company, because when I talk about clothing, I mean shoes and shirts and jeans. If we literally supported every single one, we would not have to go to Target or any other stores for literally decades. 365 days out the year, 5,000. I think over time that's going to go up because the power of the internet and social media and how easy it is to make things. We can literally rock a new clothing line that's made and owned by African Americans every single day for the next 15 years. It wouldn't change clothes. But do we do that? No. And you know, I, myself, in that category. We rather rock the Gucci, which is a known racist. The Balenciaga. I got 2 pairs. I bought my wife a pair for Christmas. So I am in the same boat. A known racist. Well, I hope you don't know what I mean, because I don't know what I mean, but you know what that means. We still rock it. Luis, what is he doing to support the Black community? Nothing. And again, this is myself. So this is self-reflection of myself. But when we sit up here and say we need to support our businesses, let's not say it, let's do it. See, in 1955, they did it. And it took a lot of sacrifices not to ride the bus when only 14% of the population had cars that was African Americans. How'd they get around? A lot of carpools, a lot of bikes, a lot of walking. Ride on a bus that takes me 15 minutes to work. Now carpools takes me half an hour. A lot of sacrifices. And we have the ability to sacrifice and buy those Black-owned clothing line. So when we can dress to impress, it's an all. Now that's putting our dollars to work. Not a one-day boycott that does nothing for a person or businesses that is a multi-trillion-dollar, making $1 trillion a year, making multiple millions, hundreds of million dollars a month. How's that going to hurt their bottom line? It's not. But if we all literally pick a Black-owned company that we like from a clothing line. That's going to go a long way. The average African American spends about $2,000 a year on clothing. Average. Our household, not so much at all. Maybe close to $2,000 on clothing, to be honest with you. But holla at your boy from a tax write-off standpoint, because if you use the tax code to your advantage, you have a lot more write-offs. But it's still money spent. And what you spend, you don't get back from your taxes. But it's estimated by the year 2030 that it's going to be 70 billion with the B. Let me repeat this. It's going to be Black consumers in America that spends $70 billion on clothes and apparel. That's not with the M. That's with the B. I repeat my Dr. Umar the third time. By 2030, it is going to be $70 billion a year spent on clothing by Black families in America. If half of that, $35 billion, left all of the fancy stores and expensive stores, all the stores in general, and went to Black-owned businesses online, not online, what is that going to do to the bottom line of companies? That's going to hurt them. Not a boycott where we don't buy something and then next week double up because we didn't buy it the week before. That does nothing. I'll imagine 2 weeks from now, their sales will probably be spiked up because we double back from the things we didn't buy on boycott day. This is how we empower our community. And that's why I said boycotting something in the year 2025, dumbest thing that we can do. The smartest thing we can do is spend that time at the house where we're boycotting or on social media saying, yeah, ain't buy nothing today. Search Black-owned businesses, especially in apparel, something that we all have to wear. Find something you like, because not all clothing brands look good. It look, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see the pen? Don't nobody got the creativity like OG. It's some Black-owned businesses that are clothing brands that are horrible. You don't got to rock them, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot that fits your taste. And it's a lot that fits your price point too. And when you buy from their website directly, they have a higher profit margin. So now you're supporting Black-owned businesses. They can go from being online to storefront. And Black-owned businesses historically hire more individuals that look like them. Now, I'm not saying segregate, right? Black-owned businesses also hire Caucasian individuals, Hispanic individuals, Asian individuals. We're a melting pot. We are the people. But statistics show business opens as Black-owned, they're going to hire more individuals that look like them. Just like if it's an Asian shop that gets open, they're going to hire more people that looks like them. If it's a Hispanic shop that opens, they're going to hire more people that look like them. So, of course, a Caucasian shop, they're going to hire more people that looks like them. That is called life. Stereotype that we have about ourselves. We look at ourselves a certain way, we hire a certain way. It is what it is. It's life. So how can we take advantage of the power we have now? We do something. That's number one. Number two, we cannot continue to compare ourselves not to different colors. No, because it is no comparison. Let's be real. We don't have the power structure. Not today, at least. But we cannot compare ourselves to other individuals who look like us, who are doing either better than us or worse than us. Because it's some people that's doing better than us. That uppity, you know what, right? It's some people that's not doing as good as us. They ain't doing nothing. We gossip, right? And this ain't lift them a voice and sing. This ain't one of those. This is what we can do financially, because money makes the world go round. It ain't about Democrat, Black Democrats. It ain't about Republican, white Republicans, Black Republicans. No, it's about the dollar. The dollar bill, y'all. We have more dollars circulating in our community. That is how we succeed. So back to comparing ourselves. What we should be doing is embracing each other and partnering. I know it's that old adage, right? It's not your net worth, it's your network. But that's true. But if people in your network is being crabs in a barrel, wanting to see you win, but they want to win more and then leech off of you if you're winning, or vice versa. How is that helping? What we all should do is stop with the frivolous spending, especially using our debit cards. This is where the finances come in. See, the world runs on the thing called credit, not debit. Countries, communities, buildings, wealth has been made not on debit, on credit. So let's go out and get some credit cards, not to blow the check and get it right back, but to build our credit. You see here, every single time you pay a bill on time, your FICO score goes up by 2 to 5 points. We, for instance, have $3,000 in bills that we pay. Let's get us 5, 6, 7 credit cards. Spread out that $3,000, let's say over 5 credit cards, let's just say. Just 5. Not a lot. 3,000 over 5. Not a lot. $600 on each credit card. And every single week we pay our bills, just like we do on our debit card. We pay or charge with our credit card and then pay with the bank account tied to our debit card. What's that going to do? That is going to build credit. So now we look up 6 months, a year from now, we go from a 550 credit score to maybe a 650 credit score. A year later, go from a 650 credit score to a 750 credit score. Then what we could do, y'all, now we can have some ownership. We can now, instead of renting, throwing away tens of thousands of dollars a year and getting nothing back, having no equity, right? DI, diversity, we're already diverse. Equity, right? That's how we build the equity. We buy houses. And we talk all the time about people we gentrify in our neighborhood. How about we gentrify our own neighborhood? Floyd Mayweather did it. Now, you can say what you want about him, but man, is he a smart business person. He's the gentrifier. And I'd rather have an African-American buy up the block in a distressed area, clean it up, and do affordable housing, and have individuals that look like him gentrify the area, not somebody else, because that's how we get the inclusion. The diversity, already diverse, the equity, building houses, having assets, and the inclusion, because we're all included in the same goals. Now we do that. Now we have a seat at the table. How we have a seat at the table? Because now we have ownership. We have ownership. Guess what happens? Our schools, we get to dictate what schools we go to because we own something. What's going to be built in our district? We are now have more voting rights. Now we have voting rights. Now, are they making it harder for people to vote? Of course they are. I ain't being political. It is what it is. And we all know it. But the more that we own, the more we get to dictate where our property taxes will go, the more power we have. So now some of those roads that's all messed up, we got more power to make sure those roads in our community get fixed. But if we don't own nothing in that community, we have no say-so. That is why it's important to have assets. And I go back to, it is crazy to boycott like they did in 1955. You know, back in 1955, the median household income was less than $4,000. Now it's over $56,000. So it feels like we've advanced as a community. We haven't, y'all. Because if you include inflation, that's down. Even though we have all ways to make money legally, but because of some of the decisions that we make as a community, our average income since 1955, if you include inflation, is down, not up. What about wealth? What about wealth? We're making more money. That means we got to have more money from a wealth standpoint, right? When I said, what you think? Well, back in 1955, we had approximately 1.5% of the nation's wealth. I repeat, in 1955, we had approximately 1% of the nation's wealth, which was about 10% of wealth of the population. In 55, we had 1% of the wealth, and we was about 10% of the population, right? And yes, we had Civil War, slavery, Jim Crow, redlining. Very, very easy to see why our wealth wasn't where it was. So when people say, pick yourself up by the bootstrap, we didn't had a lot of time. Like we didn't have hundreds upon hundreds of years to kind of get this thing right. We've had some time and a lot of things as a community we have gotten wrong, and we can all admit to that. But it's not like we've had all the time in the world. But with the power of the internet, we have time right now, you guys. And right now in 2025, it is a harsh reality when it comes to our income and our wealth, because now we don't make 10% of the population like we did in 1955. Now we're about 15% of the population, right? We love our kids. We love to populate because we are the people, the culture. So we have a lot more, even though we have immigrants coming in, like it or hate it, they're here. President said he's going to get rid of them, all of them day one. It ain't happening. It won't happen. Companies who need immigrants to do the jobs that nobody wants to do, they ain't going nowhere, y'all. It is what it is. Not being political, but it is what it is. So with that being said, we got 15% of the population. That has to mean that our wealth is more, right? No. 4.7%. Now, okay. So the wealth was 1% in 1955. Now, the wealth is 4.7%. That means it's more, right? Well, inflation adjusted and asset adjusted compared to the price of things and the value of things, that has a decrease. And that decrease is 23%. So a house in 1955 that was $5,000, now $300,000, right? Because of the price of things going up and us not maintaining properties, right? Gentrification, selling them. And now 5 years later, they're up triple the price. Even though we have more percentage wealth, inflation adjustment, we have gotten broker than what we were 70 years ago. And we sit up here boycotting companies that literally don't give a dang about our community. They give a dang about the green. And they're going to find ways to advertise and make sure they continue to make the money. You boycott today, doesn't matter. Look what happened 5 years ago, DEI. What company's still doing DEI right now, y'all? Where they at? Why is it that less African Americans today are in C-suite positions than what they were 5 years ago? Companies' jobs is to make money for their shareholders. And we don't have the power as a shareholder because you're not owning the stock, because you're not making decisions on how the board of directors should be picked, because you're not a stockholder, you're not voting using your proxies. They don't care, and they never will care. So let's stop boycotting. Let's use our time, our effort, and energy to literally find Black-owned businesses and give our money to those businesses and give the power back into the community. Let's stop spending money frivolously, and let's stop using debit cards and build our credit. A year from now, higher credit scores. 2 years from now we're able to buy houses. So we got to worry about the Karens and Kens in our neighborhood, because there's so many of us who bought a house. Those Karen and Kens, they feel better. They feel more comfortable around us, or they move. And it's still a great community because we're homeowners and not renters. And we all know, being a homeowner, you have a whole different thought process about your community compared to a renter. Let's win this economically, not on social media. So as I said, boycotting today is crazy work, diabolical, and it ain't gonna move the needle. Y'all might hate me, y'all might love me, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to give us some real information. Support Black businesses. Clothing alone will move the needle. Building your credit will make the needle go up. Having ownership in houses, stopping to rent, that is going to change and give us the power that we want, we need, and that we deserve. Love is love, y'all. Let's make some painless and painful progress together. Peace.